Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to wait just another minute or so to let a few more people come.
Can you hear?
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Let's come through here.
Sorry about that.
All right, and Natalie, I'll have you go ahead and not trying to cut anybody off. We're gonna mute you guys for the first part. All right, about 30 more seconds and we're gonna get started. All right, I think we're ready to go. All right, are we ready? Amanda, Natalie, you ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you wanna, all right, ready to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. So happy to see all of you. I am so grateful for all of you taking time out today. Before we get started, just a couple of items. We're going to do a very brief presentation just to give you an overview of the new project. So please keep yourselves muted for the duration just of the presentation. If you have any questions, we'll save some time at the end for Q&A. Your lovely hosts tonight are Amanda and Natalie. And so if you do have any questions, you can enter them into the general chat box on the side of your screen. So we'll be sure to address them at the end. And if you have any technical issues or questions, please chat Natalie privately so she can assist you. And Amanda, if you want to hit mute as well, and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, my name is Ashley Lentz. For those of you who don't know me, I am the founder of the Aunt Sister Project. And I'm excited to tell you about the programs we offer, but before I do, I think it's probably more important for me to tell you why I'm doing this and why I'm doing it now. So I'm going to kick things off with a story, and this is a story that I have never told anyone before. So nearly 10 years ago, I was working as a fitness manager for the YMCA in my hometown of Wichita, Kansas. And we had just started preparing for a pilot program that we were going to launch in the new year. So this was December of 2011. And this new program was called Live Strong at the YMCA. A partner fitness programs for cancer survivors. And I was initially intrigued because, you know, it was the first of its kind. And, you know, I'd heard of and obviously been a really, you know, I thought it was a great initiative, but I'd not necessarily had any experience in that space, or I never really taken interest in that, you know, area of expertise. But the certification was offered to me while I was aunt struggle with ovarian cancer. Aunt, whom many of you know, Sister Helene Lentz, she was somebody who was seemingly healthy 6 months earlier. She had been diagnosed as stage 4 only 4 months earlier, as far as humans go, and she was truly somebody that I personally wasn't ready to lose. And it was time someone close to me, excuse me, had a cancer diagnosis, at least in my adult life. So I really didn't know how to deal with this loss that was happening so quickly, and one that seemed so, utterly unjust. And I initially declined the invitation to the meeting because I thought I'd be forced into a space that was outside of my comfort zone, and at that time it was just too raw. But on the other hand, at the time I thought that this could be a way for me to work through my feelings and deal with what was happening in my world, but in a space outside of my world. So looking back, I know that that wasn't the real reason. The reason I ended up going was because I needed to get answers. I wanted to better understand what the hell was taking my aunt with me, and I wanted to walk away with something that kind of gave me closure in that. So I went to the training. Honestly, it was it was kind of a fog. I more or less went through the motions. I retained as much as I could, but I certainly didn't get any answers. And to this day, I still say that it was the single most important personal decision I've ever made. And I say personal, not professional, because I didn't go because I thought it would be my calling. I didn't think it was a demographic that I'd be inclined to work with, but ultimately I went because I didn't know how to cope with the loss or the fear of loss I was experiencing that time. So again, I didn't have a single life-changing moment of clarity in that training, but I can say that every experience I've had since in that realm, literally, the people I've met, the relationships I've built, those have given me strength and perseverance in every other area of my life. So back to the training, there was about a week's time between the time I actually went through the training and our first big meeting as trainers and managers. And we were going to recap what we've learned and plan for the upcoming program. And in that 7 days time, give or take, Sister Helene, my aunt, whom I called Aunt Sister, passed away. And I was really lost at that point. I remember thinking, great, I have to go to this meeting and talk about what I learned, and I'm just not even sure that I learned that much. I don't know what I'm going to be able to contribute. And then on top of everything else, we were told in advance that we should come prepared to discuss any personal experience that we'd had with cancer, or if at all it had somehow affected our lives. And again, this was days after Aunt Sister's passing. We hadn't even had the funeral yet, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about is how I'd personally been affected by cancer, because it was happening in real time. So, I remember being angry that this was being asked of me, and I didn't want people to see that vulnerable side of me. I wasn't ready to talk about it, but I did. And I spoke about my loss for the first time out loud, and I cried. And again, this is just a group of fitness pros that went through this training, but I talked about how angry I was and how it wasn't fair, and there's so many terrible people on this planet, so why did one of the best of them have to die, and why did she have to die so young, and why wasn't she given a fighting chance? And I don't know how long I spoke, but it didn't matter. Everyone around me just listened and empathy, and they asked me questions about her, and I got to talk about all the great things she did, and I was just really able to process it for the first time out loud. And it was very powerful, and it gave me strength, but not because anybody gave me answers. I mean, they didn't have answers. They because they showed that they cared. That's really all that helped me. And why it's so memorable to me, as someone who had always thought that scientifically, I needed to have answers, I needed to solve problems, I needed to give explanations. It was just a very grounding experience to realize the power of the simplicity. I don't have to have answers. I don't have to give what I think is the best solution or justification, because it's not going to resolve anything anyway, most times. So I learned that I just need to listen and try to better understand other people's experiences. So I had this experience. It, kind of felt a little somewhat minor at the time, but again, very powerful. And this was before the program had even started. I hadn't even met a client yet. This was a room full of fitness pros who had just, and I remember thinking, I want to do this for other people. I want to learn how to better listen and understand, and I want to practice empathy on a higher level. And I want to know that in and of itself is enough. And I knew that because of the support and love that I felt in that room, that I wanted to be a part of it. So just as I predicted, I have had many, many more experiences just like that one. So at this point, I had been in the industry for 5 years. I kind of found the purpose that I didn't realize that I needed or really know that I was looking for. You don't get me wrong, I love management and I love fitness, personal training. I love all the people I work with, but this cause drives me from here, and I feel in honor of Aunt Sister's memory, it drives me from the heart. And it, at that time, it's what I needed, but for the long term, it's really what I needed as well. I threw myself into it full force. I led several groups. I read books on emotional intelligence. I took trainings on how to listen. I, went to every certification and workshop that I could. Eventually, I started teaching other trainers how to do the same thing. And that's why I say it was the best personal decision I ever made, because, every experience has been key to building my character and has really driven my actions in every other area of my life. So, a little bit more about the Livestrong program. With a group of individuals and see such an immediate positive response is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. And to be around a group of people who are really so different from one another, but are connected by this one thing, who share successes and really support one another, is really unbelievable. And, I've never worked with a program that had higher adherence levels. I've seen mood and energy go from very low to very high in just 60 minutes time. And it's just very, very much what drives me. And I've always said I'm just kind of the facilitator. People show up and I take them through the workout, but they're the ones that are making the difference and supporting each other and putting in the hard work. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So fast forward to 2015, I packed up and moved to New York City. Got back into the teaching and training game, fitness management, whatever I needed to do to kind of make ends meet. I didn't find anything that was really cancer exercise specific at that time. I kind of put it to the side, but the idea of starting my own wellness program or cancer exercise nonprofit has been a very frequent daydream of mine. I mean, the name, the Aunt Sister Project, has existed for years. And every time I would get tired of the grind or have a hard day at work, or just in general start questioning whether or not I was on the right path, I'd do a little more research and I'd sign up for a webinar or I'd take a workshop, and not specifically cancer exercise related, but a workshop on how to start a nonprofit. So this idea has existed for years, and I never thought I'd be here right now talking about it, because there's always a fantasy, or at best an idea that I would revisit many, many years down the road. But 2020 happened, and it turned out to be the year that all things planned didn't happen. And as much as it was, probably the worst year of our existence, it was really the only opportunity I'd ever have to really make this happen. So I think of Aunt Sister often, and she started so many charities and she helped thousands of people, and she was successful every time at whatever she tried. And I've been reading up on her, and for inspiration, especially this past year, and her accomplishments. And she was so loved by everyone she met. And I want to quote an article that was written about her after she passed away. And the first article, or the first line of the article, reads, many of us talk about what needs to happen. Sister Helene Lentz had no patience for that. She simply found a way to do it and got it done. And, you know, I want to take a page from Aunt Sister's book. So I decided to stop imagining what this project could look like and actually make it happen. So back to 2020, I spent most of last summer doing research and, you know, holding focus groups, figuring out what programs were out there, what the current need was, what I specifically wanted to offer. And then I started writing a plan. And the plan, that was the easy part. That was the fun part, because in a way I was still dreaming without actually doing, and just kind of imagining what it would look like without having to take any real action just yet. But once September rolled around, I kind of started to have the realization that virtual programming was not a temporary thing. It might be the only way for quite some time. So the plan was really accelerated, and we expedited the timeline. So by offering the program virtually, I can reach anyone, I can do it immediately, and I can do it with very little cost. So we did. And you know, I happen to be surrounded by extremely talented, knowledgeable, and honest people who, lucky for me, had, you know, in 2020 found themselves with a little extra time on their hands. So I had a lot of help. That is not an understatement. I did none of this on my own. So, you know, we saw the need, I got the support from those around me, and then we got to work. So with all that said, I am humbled and honored and proud and terrified to officially present the Aunt Sister Project. And we just got incorporated at the start of the year. We're working towards our 501c3. We expect to get that the middle of the year, so we're aiming for the summer, but we wanted to start offering programs as quickly as possible. And I just want to tell you a little bit more about our mission. Simply put, our mission is to improve the health and well-being of cancer warriors at every stage in their fight. And this means no matter what the diagnosis, what the treatment, age, gender, fitness level, income level, it doesn't matter. We want to help you, and we want you in one of our programs. And just a side note, I can't display a picture of such a handsome gentleman without introducing him. This is my personal training client, Joe. He just turned 93. And we have a lot of fun together. We've been working together since last August, and he is literally one of the only reasons I ever leave the house. So thank you, Joe. And we've had a lot of fun working together, and he's made a lot of progress. So Joe, thank you for being my model. And just a little bit more about the mission. You know, we based our model and programming on, you know, the benefits of exercise for anyone who has ever had a cancer diagnosis. And vision is to be able to look at different demographics, different age groups, you know, different treatments, different diagnoses. But right now we want everyone, and we want anyone. So, you know, we associate the mission and the benefits of exercise with our foundational pillars, which are strength, spirit, courage, and connectedness. And I wanted to highlight these in particular because, you know, I think that all four of them are so essential to a program of this type. You know, first and foremost, we want to achieve maximal physical capacity for the warriors. We want to, you know, keep them as strong as possible to reduce mental and physical side effects associated with treatment and recovery. And we want to empower them with health and fitness knowledge so that they can program for themselves long term and really be bought into the idea of lifelong wellness. But, you know, we also, you know, I'm really big on this. I want to facilitate relationships and really build, you know, bonds and sense of community so they know they're not alone in their fight and they have that support. In addition to this, you know, we want to make our programs always accessible. So even if you know, when we start offering programs in person, even if you don't live near one of our facilities, you can still take the online program and work out virtually. One thing we've learned in 2020 is that it's easy, or at least easier than previously thought, to really be able to offer an effective online program. So we're always going to have a hybrid model. And I think specifically for this demographic, it's going to be especially beneficial, just because there are going to be days where someone may not be able to make it in for a workout, but movement is always going to be so important that they can at least tune in remotely and do the workout and still feel connected to the group. So I think the hybrid model is going to be really beneficial moving forward. And our primary focus, or the program that we're really pushing right now, is our 16-week progressive program. Small group, virtual for the first year, and it's the one that we're actively recruiting for. So we our first program April 6th, and we're hoping to start a new group every month through September. Each week, we're going to have a different focus. There's going to be educational elements, and the programs are really going to be tailored to the individuals. The exercises or the sessions happen in real time, so participants can ask questions and I can give feedback, and we can all chat and have fun in the process. And prior to the start of the program, they're going to get a very in-depth, one-on-one intake session with me. We'll go over all the needed information to be able to formulate that perfect plan for them. And we'll do an in-depth Zoom tutorial just so everybody's 100% comfortable with the platform and kind of figure out, the workout space, and just test run everything so that there's a higher level of comfort going into it. I'm confident that everybody's going to experience a success and have great results from this program. We've seen it happen already, but part of our long-term vision is that we want to be able to contribute this information to the growing body of knowledge and the research out there. So we want to be able to test before and after, and do pre and post program surveys, and even get as specific as pre and post workout surveys to see how people are feeling before versus after. But in the end, because we're taking these pre-program assessments, I can take that information and really tailor the program to their individual needs. So we have the 16-week program, which is our primary focus, but also realize for whatever reasons, it may not work for everybody's schedule or needs. So we're also offering one-on-one training for anyone who maybe needs a little bit more hands-on training or can't work with the schedule that we're currently offering. So I want to introduce Tom. Tom is a dear friend of mine here in New York, and he is our warrior in training. And I want to feature him today because he and I have been working one-on-one since the start of the year. He started chemo right around the time that we started exercising, and he is officially the first person to enroll in the April progressive program. So Tom, thank you for being here today and for letting me feature you. One story that I have to share, which is truly a testament to why I'm doing this in the first place. Just last Friday, Tom and I had a Zoom workout scheduled, and he started the session saying he didn't know how long he'd be able to work out. He was feeling very fatigued, very tired. He didn't know, maybe do some stretching and then see where we were at. And I said, you know what, that's great. We'll keep it light, play it by ear. And 30 minutes go by, and he just kind of looked around. He said, I feel so much better than I did when we started, and I have so much more energy now. And that, literally my only hope for any client on any given day is that you feel better at the end of the session than you did at the start. But the fact we did what we could, but really ended up energizing him at the end of it was all I needed. So Tom, thank you for experiencing this with me. I love you, and I'm so happy to have you in my life. All right, one-on-one training, progressive group training. I also want to talk a little bit about the graduate program. I don't want it to end after 16 weeks. I want to be able to offer a long-term option that helps the program participants maintain that health and fitness and most importantly, the relationships that they created in the program. So we're offering ongoing graduate classes. These are going to be twice per week. There's no commitment, but they're going to be offered on a drop-in basis. And once you go through 16-week program, you can move on to the maintenance ongoing classes. Speaking of graduates, I want to introduce two people who can give you a better idea of what I mean when I speak about the mission and the 4 pillars. I want to introduce Chris and Ron, and they're currently 2 of our graduates. I met Chris at the Y. She was one of the first people that I went through the Live Strong program with, and I met Ron at the first gym that I managed. So last fall, I piloted this 16-week program and the curriculum. I had 5 people go through the program. All still are working out. But Chris and Ron, they agreed to speak about their experience today. And the 3 of us have been meeting twice a week consistently since the beginning of September. So I want to introduce Chris and Ron.
Hola. Can I be heard?
You are heard.
Yeah, but I can't see you. You suddenly went away. But there we go. Hello. Say hi, Chris.
Hello there.
Hello.
It's good
Hi.
to be virtually not in Wichita. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think we should probably mention that the 3 of us get together twice a week. And we've been doing it for many months now. But Chris is in Kansas and I'm in New York City. So I've made a new friend halfway across the country, which is one perk. But I think the biggest perk is that what Ashley is doing here has literally no drawbacks. There's nothing about this that shouldn't work absolutely 100% for anybody who has an interest in personal growth, physical good health, and especially if they've had cancer and are looking for ways to psychologically get out of that headspace and also physically. So it's a godsend. And, I'm blessed that, my health is excellent right now. But I needed this, especially during COVID. And it's become something I look forward to so much that I wish I could literally do it every day of the week, but that would probably kill me. And that's not the point. But it's great to be able to have this experience during this time. But again, once things lift, and they apparently are going to, and we're going to be in a much different space in the next few months, I still think this is a very viable way to communicate through Zoom. And I mean, Ashley can't be in a million places at once. The fact that she is helping both Chris and I at the same time, and we're in different states, is fantastic. But this has got to go wide. This concept is brilliant. And Chris, I'm sure you have some things to add, because I can talk about it for a long time, but I want to make sure Chris has the chance.
I think one of the, there are 2 things I really wanted to say. One is, you can't underestimate the importance of community, which we've known from the very beginning. But during this time, and for me to be connected across the United States, gives you not only a bigger perspective, but also a sense of the smallness and the tightness of the cancer community, which is really important. So it gives you kind of a way to stay on call so that if somebody would need you, you know that you're ready to go. That's been really helpful and something that is a little bit hard to hang on to. But the other thing that is really helpful for me, we actually have our home in one town and an apartment in another town, and then my children live in some other towns, and it does not matter where I am because it's virtual. And so regardless of what the pandemic happens to do and how tight it becomes, the ability to connect virtually, I think, is something that I'm going to need.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for the rest of my life, probably, because this life gets connected, and at points in time when you're not as healthy as others, it's a really safe way to work out. So I will just throw in that we do measure how hard we worked on based on if we needed to take a nap or not. And I did. I want to say that today was a nap day.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I love seeing you guys. You know, Ron, I haven't seen you in real life in almost 4 years. Chris, it's been almost 7 years. And now I get to see you more than most other people in my life. And it's just been,
Yeah.
great. So
That's
thank you
truly
guys
incredible.
so much.
Thanks
Yeah.
for pointing that out.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you
good.
guys. Okay. So I appreciate you telling us your story. So I want to really just, you know, talk about what we're asking of you today. And it's not much. You know, the real reason I am doing this event is, one, I need to, you know, celebrate everything that we've accomplished, but I also want to ask you guys to help me spread the word. And that's the biggest thing. We want to reach as many people as we can. We're not confined to any zip code. And I think this is the time to do it. So today we're just going to ask you to tell three friends about our projects. Follow us on social media at the Ant Sister Project. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I love social media. I'm a big fan. I'm really good at it. So I've been working real hard on that Instagram. Okay. Somebody told me I shouldn't tell any jokes today. I'm not going to tell anymore. Connect us with anyone who may benefit. So if you know prospective warriors, treatment centers, other cancer nonprofits, like make the connections, like anything, anybody, please send them my way. We want to talk to them. Again, there's more details on the website. So if you haven't already, please check out our website, antsister.org. Diana Van Boris, who is my dear friend and board chairperson. Happy anniversary to you, by the way, if you're still with us. This website's all her, and she has spent so much time, and it is a beautiful website, and I'm so grateful for her time and talent. So thank you. Please visit antsister.org. You can get all the details, more testimonials, more information on the programs on the website. So our goal for 2021 is we want to serve 50 warriors through our programs, and we just want to grow exponentially from there. So before we open it up, I can't wrap up this event without acknowledging those who have helped me get here. And this isn't even the half of it. This is my board of directors and my advisory team. I could not have done it without their expertise and willingness to donate their time and their belief in this cause. And there's dozens of others who have taken time out of their day to, you know, read the business plan or click through the website or just given me their ear to talk about my idea and work through some things out loud. So I'm just so grateful, and I won't forget it. I just want to say thank you all very much. This last slide is just last August we did some free classes just to kind of spread the word. So this is just some fun feedback that we've gotten over the months from our participants. And that's it. That's what we're doing. That's where we're going. And again, I'm so thankful for you guys being here tonight. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I hope I got everything answered in all of my long-winded stories. But if there are any, I don't know, Natalie, Amanda.
I haven't had any questions come through the
Okay.
chat, but
Okay.
free to raise your hands or unmute yourselves at this point if you have any questions. Melissa?
I don't have a question. I just want to express my deep gratitude for actually doing this work and birthing it into the world. And I know that I've gotten to learn so much about you that I didn't know, even though you were the best boss I've ever had and a wonderful friend. And I know Aunt Sister is looking at you as you continue to progress and extend her legacy. So thank you for doing this. I'm so grateful, as I know so many other people are and will be to come.
Thank you. That's it. I'm so happy to see your faces. I think I blacked out the last 30 minutes. Hopefully we recorded it, but I was nervous, but I'm just really excited now. And I I appreciate you guys listening to me go on tonight. So thank you again and have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you guys. Nice to see you. Love you all.
That was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Mhm.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job, Ash. Love
Nailed it.
Ah,
Are you still stressed?
Mom. No, I feel good. I got a cocktail ready to go.
There you go.
You did great.